Hello, you guys. Hydra. Today, I'm bringing you a review of One Piece Power Wars 4. As of recording this video, this game came out last week, Friday, I believe, and I have many feelings about it. 'Cause I've been waiting for the game for the longest time. I've been keeping up with it. I've been actively looking at the times and dates. I was really connected to the game, even more than Persona 5 The Royal. And right now, that's in my backlog because I'm playing this game, but I'm done with it and I'm ready to review it. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I already record this video, but I started to re-record it because I feel like the recording I did of the last one didn't really give it justice. And I really want to go in depth as a true One Piece fan, as a true reviewer, and just give my thoughts on this game as a whole. So just rock with me and just listen to me what I have to say because I have a lot of feelings on this game, and like I said, I've been really waiting on this game, but hear me out. And before we get started, hit the like button. Let me know what you guys are listening and paying attention to the content. I really want you guys to hear me out when I do reviews and give me some feedback because I'm looking for feedback. So let's get started on this in-depth review. So for a little backstory, I've been playing Power Warriors since the PS3 era. I played 1, 2, and 3. All of them are done. All of them are different, and I platinum each one of them. So I'm really never going back to them unless I'm doing a Let's Play, which you should follow me on Hydro the Alpha Gamer and also on my Twitch. But anywho, I think I'm more than qualified to talk about these games and this series in particular. So let me go ahead and get into it. And from the part I noticed about this game the most, as soon as I got into it, this game has great visuals. It's very beautiful. There's a lot of attention to detail, and personally, they just look very fabulous. I'm glad they put the little stuff in there. And me personally, as a One Piece fan, that's even better because I probably would argue games have more better visuals than some animes, and I haven't kept up with One Piece anime, so don't attack me. But yeah, it just looks very nice, and you can just tell because when I use Admiral Kiji and I can see I'm using the ice attacks. The ice attacks look like real stuff that I was seeing like in a high def commercial or something like that. So it's kind of hard to explain, but they really nailed it on these visuals with everybody and even the environments. And before I get into the environments, I just want to say the combat is very fluid this time around. I feel like there wasn't some any more linear combos that I could perform. The combos I was doing, they felt like I can just go with the flow. Just go crazy. That's what I really want to say. Just go crazy, and you can jump around. You can do everything. You can mix and match attacks. It's very nuts. And for the first time in the Power series, I really felt not constricted just to buttons. So let me just say that. Now, another thing I want to get into is that some of these arcs in the game in the story mode, I like how they actually detail some parts. Because in the story mode, they're like pages, so they pick out certain ones that catch the interest. Like there's the Frankie and the Usopp versus CP9. There's Usopp versus Luffy. Just little stuff like that actually makes me feel good because there wasn't in really other Power Warriors in other games. So let me just say that I like the little intricate parts of those. And another thing is, I really say like money is very obtainable because you need money throughout the game to progress. Obviously, do other things, and money is not an issue. Money is they're very generous with the money this time around. And now that we can talk about the maps are very big. They're beautiful. The destructible environments. It's pretty nuts how they did it this time around. Because even with the combat, I felt like movement was an issue too. Because with a regular Power War game, you just move, you just bounce to territory. But no, you can just jump off ledges. You can destroy buildings. If I need to take a shortcut, I could take a shortcut. Most of it was actually destroyable, or movable, or to be honest, just skippable. If that makes sense. But yeah, I really like that a lot. That was a brand new change that I feel like is very necessary in this franchise. But I think that's all for my positives, and let me just talk about the negatives now. So now we are getting to the cons and negatives of this game. And first and foremost, they cut and removed a lot of the story. They kind of did like skips, if you want to call it that, because a lot of it's missing, and you know it's just weird how they just came off to me as a One Piece fan. And maybe, hopefully, if you're like not a One Piece fan, this probably at least inspire you to catch up to it because this game did a horrible job at the One Piece storytelling and just overall bad. Because if you're new and you just want to see what it's like, because I know a lot of people that just buy games, they want to get into the story and just play into it off the games. They're gonna have a hard time, or at least not get everything they should get. So let's really get in depth of that. They cut a lot of arcs. They skipped, and this should go without saying. This might be a little spoilers, but they skipped the East Blue arc. They skipped the Impel Down, Sabobity to an extent, Impel Down arc, and a lot of that shit matters because in One Piece everything builds up to each other. So it's kind of odd that they just decided to just half-ass do that and just like I feel like they just did fan favorites. Like, oh, a lot of the One Piece fans like these arcs, so we gonna do these arcs only, and it just kind of sucks that we kind of missed out on the whole experience. As of the Pirate Warriors 3, that kept doing it. Actually did from start to current arc at that time. It was I really enjoyed that, but Pirate Warriors 4 they did not do that. And another thing, I did like when I learned about my last recording, I kind of noticed that they tried to do the in-game models, talking stuff like that. It kind of just came off weird because, they try to use the talking details with the in-game models, and it just came out weird because sometimes the expressions don't look right or the words kind of look weird. And overall, they should have just chose a format, whether it's gonna be all slideshows or all cutscenes, preferably all cutscenes because the cutscenes look beautiful. But it just looked jumbled up, and sometimes you don't even want to read all that, or it just don't look like good acting in IMO. But yeah, and sometimes inside the story, sometimes the stuff feel padded out. Like some of the missions, like I don't really don't see the need why you need to get out of War 7, have a whole episode with Garp and all that good stuff. Just stuff like that because there's more of them in it. Like I know the Usopp and Rob Lucci and Frankie was a positive, but again, that feel padded in there. I feel like they could have did that. They could have attached some of those missions to another mission. If that makes sense. Because I believe they did that in Power War 3, or actually other Power War games, where they just say, "Hey, it might be a sub mission, and you get like another cutscene through there if you beat the sub mission." But anyway, cut characters. They cut a lot of characters. They cut so many freaking characters, and I think they really cut them because they say, "Okay, we're cutting out a lot of the past arcs, so they don't really need to see who's in there." But that don't make no sense because like just can't say, "Oh, BTW, this is who it, blah blah blah," and they even show them in the gallery, which is kind of nuts. Like, yeah, you're showing who this person was, but this guy was present in almost every Pirate War. So why would you cut him now? It just didn't really make sense of how they really decided to cut the characters, and it really upset me. Like, this is supposed to be the game where at its peak, where we're supposed to have a lot of characters. That's not really fun to be limited. Like, no game should just reduce roster size with each installment. That kind of sucks. For if it's sacrificing old characters for new characters, that very sucks. And word is, and the rumor is that a lot of the DLC characters they turned out to be cut characters. And if that turns out to be true, that's even a double negative because I'm not paying for characters that should have been in the game. And like don't get me wrong, them getting updated moves that's cool and all, but they should have been in the game. Like you can import them from the other games. What made this one so different? And it was just really, really bad character choosing. Now, let me go ahead and continue to say of the characters, I felt like Sky characters because some characters they can like basically aerial. Some of the Sky characters and Sky form they can be a lot of pain to work with because I felt like they didn't really like I get it like they're supposed to be aerial fun, aerial battles, and actually they are fun to some extent, but they're hard to control and sometimes it feel like you're just wasting your time in the air and you probably getting hit and XYZ and it just sometimes felt like a hindrance. So I really think they should have tweaked those guy characters. But let me go ahead and continue on to say the cutscenes they cut off the fluidity of the battle because last Power War games what they basically did was they basically when after you beat somebody's ass then the cutscene will play. But a lot of times the cutscenes in this game you can just tell it just cuts off the fluidity. Like I could be beating somebody's dog shit ass and then a cutscene will play and then now we're just both standing still. And now I'm getting my ass kicked because everything paused for a minute, and I really hate that. I really hate that how it will just cut you off and everything will just stop. So it's more noticeable in these games. Now another thing I felt like, and it was kind of a con, it was kind of pro and a con. A lot of the maps are big, yes, but I feel like on some maps the shit was spread out. Like unless you have a skill to like easily capture territories, it would be a pain in the ass because the enemies are so spread out. Opposed to other Power War games where you just have a capture a box and that'll be the territory. No, a lot of these maps are not in square shape, so you have to go searching for enemies, and sometimes they're all spread out, and it could be time consuming. Now, another thing I kind of had a beef with, that the OST was not really good to me because I don't know why. Like, all Power Wars is one of those games where the OST was always knocking at me. It really get me in the mood and really jam packed, full of goodness. And I hate to see how it just downsized it altogether. Which, like I said, this Power Wars 4, so you should carry all the legacy stuff into the game. But I feel like it was too much to ask for. So OST wasn't really all that to me. It wasn't like Power Wars. They had some remixes, yes, but I feel like they cut a lot of stuff out, and like everything got cut out with the cut content of like the story basically, and it just really hurts to see that. But let me go on to my final thought now. Bottom line is, I would not pick this game up if you're trying to get into the One Piece story. I would probably go ahead and pick up either Power Wars 1 or 3 because they connect to the original story. But other than that, I would not advise you to go pick this game up if you're trying to get into the One Piece stories. And it's kind of crazy because I've been keeping up this game. I really liked it when it first came out because I was like, man, the visuals are good, blah blah. As I started playing it, it kind of just really just wore me down on a lot of things. And like I said, I'm just hurting. But another thing, I kind of feel like I didn't really feel like it became Pyre Words to like the mid game. Dressrosa specifically, because everything felt like fresh, crisp. I feel like they gave a damn, dressed Rosan up, and minor spoiler alert, that's like 75% of the game right there. If you know the One Piece lore already, and it just sucks. You damn near get a half-ass game, and I felt like this game, all in all, should have been like an original game. I wouldn't mind that because Power Wars 2 is like an original story, and I think that would be pretty cool. In fact, I kind of encourage you because until like One Piece wraps up or almost get close to wraps up, it would be fun to see how characters interact with each other and how which character don't like who, blah blah blah. Dream fights and stuff like that. I think that would have been nice. But cause the game ending is pretty dope. I like how they did that in Wano. But another thing I really think they should do is, yeah, there's treasure battles and stuff like that, or treasure episodes. But I feel like they should add some more mini games or just modes in general. Like the islands in the last game, they were pretty all right, but it was kind of like whatever. But I think they need to get some new ideas as far as in game, new game content or post game content, whichever you want to call it. And for the most part, I cannot really recommend this game at full price. I would say wait till it goes down at 40, maybe 45 if you're a true One Piece fan, but it's hard to recommend this game. There's a lot of cut and questionable content. Even if you're the hardcore One Piece fan or you're just easy to please, you can just tell there's some cutting corners in these type of games, which is very unfortunate because One Piece games has got this reputation of just being bad. Like I could just say One Piece Unlimited War Red. A game was like 4 hours long. That pissed me off because I paid like a whole 60 for that. Um, World Seeker I didn't really get into because it just seemed boring. It didn't really catch me. Very slow in the beginning. Burning Bloods was alright. Meh. But the Pyreware series, it got me into it, and it was locked. Like that was the last hope, and now those games are questionable, which is really unfortunate. So basically, all in all, the game should have been an original game, and I would not pick the game at $60. And I'm pretty pissed off that I went ahead and got the digital deluxe edition, but now I can't do all that. Also, before I go, I remember one thing I had a problem with, and it was kind of like it was just fucking weird. Like it was a flaw. I know there's online. Basically, you can go online and do missions with people, which is kind of fun and interactive. But for this game, there's an error code, and basically, if you have people blocked in your if you have people blocked in your PSN or wherever you're doing, basically you cannot use the online. So you have to unblock those people that you have on PSN. You probably had blocked for long time. You have to block them just to use the online system, which is completely random. It's like, well, what does that have to do with getting online? But yeah, so that was another thing. And um, a little tidbit that I want to add in this review is that what I would like to see in the next Power Wars game of, first of all, let me just see, is the all original story or all the arcs up until then, all the characters, of course, and even some new move sets for them, and just be updated, new games, some new mini games, or new modes and stuff like that. and just stuff like that. There's a lot of One Piece. I feel like it's just begging to be good again as far as games. I know there's a couple good games in them, but I feel like the One Piece franchise, as far as video game goes, they haven't really reached their full potential. And that's my disappointing review of Power Wars 4, which kind of crushed me because, like I said, I became up with this game since it got announced. Power Wars 3 was 2015, so we waited 5 years for this disappointment. And, it is what it is, man. At least I got the Royal. That's spoiler alert. It's actually good. It's actually good. It's actually good. But I'm enjoying it. So those are just my thoughts on it right now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you pick this game up? How you played it? Do you regret buying it? Do you like buying it? I just want to hear in the comments. But other than that, this is Hydro Alpha Omega. Have a good day. Bye bye.